Ladies and gentlemen, tennis fans, and proud supporters of Philippine sports from every corner of the globe, welcome back. Today, we are breaking down one of the most roller coaster weeks in the history of Philippine tennis. We have a story that begins with heartbreak in Melbourne, but ends with a historic, game-changing announcement that has sent shockwaves of excitement through Manila and beyond. If you've been following the career of the tennis sensation Alexandra Eala, you know that her journey is never just about hitting a ball over a net. It is about national pride. It is about breaking barriers. And today, it is about a twist of fate that no one saw coming, a twist that has officially unlocked the biggest homecoming in Philippine tennis history. Let's get straight to the headline. That is everyone talking. The news is out, the speculation is over, and the timeline is set. Alexandra Eala, the queen of Philippine tennis, the woman who has cracked the WTA Top 50, the trailblazer who has carried a flag to the Grand Slams, has officially exited the 2026 Australian Open. And this is this exit has triggered a domino effect that fans back home have been praying for. For months, there was a looming question mark. Could she play? Would she make it? The scheduling conflict was a nightmare. The Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of the year, was running dangerously close to the inaugural Philippine Women's Open. It was a classic good problem to have. If Alex went deep in Melbourne, if she made the second week, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, she would have been forced to skip the historic WTA 125 event in Manila. It was a win-lose scenario. We wanted her to win in Australia, but we desperately wanted to see her play on home soil. Well, the tennis gods have made the decision for us. After a shocking, high-octane and emotional campaign at Melbourne Park, Alex Eala is coming home. I repeat, Alex Eala is confirmed, locked in, and 100% sure to play in the Philippine Open. This is not just a tournament appearance. This is a coronation. This is the moment the Filipino fans have waited for, to see their global icon play a WTA-sanctioned tournament right in the heart of Manila at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. The exit from AO that we saw on the news ticker yesterday was painful, yes. We saw the tears. We saw the frustration. But that exit has paved the golden road to Manila. The barrier is gone. The schedule is clear. The flight is being booked. Let's briefly touch on what happened in Melbourne, because it is crucial to understanding the fire she is bringing to Manila. Alex Eala didn't just lose. She shocked the world in that first set. She came out firing against the American power hitter Alicia Parks. 6-0, a bagel. She blanked a top-tier opponent in the first set of her Australian Open main draw debut. For 30 minutes, Alex Eala looked like a future world number one. The crowd, thousands of Filipinos chanting, "Alex, Alex," turned Court 6 into a football stadium. It was electric. It was deafening. But tennis is a brutal sport, and the momentum shifted. Parks came back. The power game took over, and Alex eventually bowed out in 3 sets. Then came the doubles. Partnering with Brazil's Ingrid Martins, they fought hard, but again, an early exit. And while the scoreboard shows a loss, the calendar shows a victory for the Philippines. Because she is out of Melbourne early, she has ample time to rest, recover, fly to the Philippines, and acclimate for the Philippine Women's Open starting January 26. Do you understand the magnitude of this? We are talking about the first ever WTA 125 tournament hosted by the Philippines. This is history in the making, and it would have been a tragedy, a hollow history, if the country's best player, the highest-ranked Filipino of all time, wasn't there to headline it. Now that fear is gone. She is the wild card. She is the main event. She is the reason thousands will flock to Rizal Memorial. This is the shock we are talking about. It's the shock of the transition, from the heartbreak of a Grand Slam exit to euphoria of a national homecoming. It is a narrative shift that you couldn't write better in a movie script. One door closes in Australia, and a massive, historic gate opens in Manila. So buckle up. We're about to go deep, extremely deep, into what this means. We're going to analyze the match against Alicia Parks. What went right, what went wrong, and why that 6-0 first set proves she belongs at the elite level. We are going to discuss the good news of the Philippine Open, who she might face, the significance of the WTA 125 level, and why this tournament is the launch pad for her 2026 season. We will look at the ranking implications, the pressure of the home crowd, and the emotional toll of this whirlwind week. This is a definitive breakdown of Alex Eala's Australian Open campaign and her triumphant return to the Philippines. You are not going to get this level of detail anywhere else. We are peeling back every layer. We are looking at the stats, the psychology, the schedule, and the future. Alex Eala has shocked the Philippines, not just with her play, but with the realization that the prodigal daughter is finally returning to play for her people on her land, in her house. The Australian Open chapter is closed. The Philippine Open chapter is about to begin. And trust me, you do not want to miss a single second of this analysis. Let's dive in. 1. The Melbourne campaign, anatomy of a heartbreak. To truly appreciate the good news of her return to Manila, we must first dissect the event that made it possible, the 2026 Australian Open. This was not just another tournament for Alex Eala. This was a benchmark. Entering the year, she had cracked the top 50 in the WTA rankings, a historic feat for a Filipino player. She was no longer a qualifier hoping for a lucky break. She was a main draw direct entrant. She belonged there. Her first-round opponent was Alicia Parks of the United States. Now, on paper, this was a fascinating matchup. Parks is known for one thing: raw, unadulterated power. She has one of the fastest serves on tour, and it's flat, heavy ground strokes. Eala, on the other hand, is a tactical lefty, a counterpuncher who has developed aggressive weaponry at the Rafa Nadal Academy. It was fire versus ice, power versus precision. The first set anomaly. Let's talk about that first set. If you missed it, you missed one of the most flawless displays of tennis Alex Eala has ever produced on a Grand Slam court. The score was 6-0. In tennis terms, a bagel. To do that to a player of Alicia Parks' caliber is rare. To do it in your Australian Open main draw debut is unheard of. Alex was in the zone. She was reading the Parks serve, which often clocks over 190 kilometers per hour, like it was moving in slow motion. She was stepping in, taking the ball early, and redirecting the pace down the line. Parks looked shell-shocked. She couldn't find the court. She was spraying errors, yes, but those errors were forced by Eala's depth and relentless pressure. But there was a third player on the court that day, the crowd. We have to talk about the Filipino fans in Melbourne. Court 6 was not a tennis court. It was a fiesta. Reports from the ground described the atmosphere as football style. Flags were waving, chants of "Let's go Alex" were drowning out the umpire, and there were queues hundreds of meters long just to get a glimpse of the match. Alicia Parks later admitted in her press conference that the crowd was difficult and that she had to block it out. For that first set, the energy of the crowd fueled Alex. She was riding a wave of nationalistic adrenaline. She was untouchable. The turning point, but here is where the analysis gets critical and where the exit happened. Tennis is a game of momentum, and it is a game of adjustments. Alicia Parks is a professional. She didn't panic. In the second set, she stopped trying to out-hit Eala in long rallies and started shortening the points. She found her first serve. When a player like Parks starts landing first serves, the dynamic changes instantly. Alex, who was dictating points in the first set, suddenly found herself on the defensive. She was being pushed back 3 for feet behind the baseline. The 6-0 lead evaporated psychologically as Parks took the second set 6-3. The third set was a battle of nerves. This is where experience plays a huge role. Parks, having been on the tour a bit longer and having that massive serve to bail her out of trouble, steadied the ship. Alex fought. She gritted her teeth. She saved break points. But the relentless power of Parks eventually wore down the defensive walls. The final scoreline, 6-0, 3-6, 2-6. The aftermath and doubles the devastation was visible. Alex Eala is a winner. She doesn't take moral victories. She wanted that win. She stayed after the match, signing autographs to the hundreds of fans who waited, calling the support heartwarming, but admitting the loss stung more because so many people were there. Then came the doubles. Partnering with Ingrid Martins, they faced the experienced duo of Shuko Aoyama and Magda Linette. Again, we saw flashes of brilliance. They lost a tight first set in a tiebreak, dominated the second set 6-2, but fell in the third. So, within 48 hours, the Australian Open dream was over, both in singles and doubles. Alex Eala was out. To the casual observer, this looks like a failure. But to the analyst, this is a necessary stepping stone. You have to lose these tight three-setters before you start winning them. You have to feel the crushing weight of a partisan crowd before you learn to harness it perfectly. And most importantly for our story today, this exit had a silver lining that is blindingly bright. To the sure-to-play scenario, a blessing in disguise. Let's transition to the good news aspect of our title. Why is the exit considered good news? Because of the calendar. We need to understand the logistics of professional tennis. The WTA Tour is a grueling, non-stop circus. The Australian Open is a 2-week event. If Alex Eala had won her match against Parks, she would have played the second round on Wednesday or Thursday. If she won that, she's in the third round on the weekend. The Philippine Women's Open, the WTA 125 event in Manila, starts its main draw on January 26. If Alex was still alive in Melbourne, physically and contractually, she could not be in Manila. The Philippine Tennis Association, PHILTA, and the organizers were sweating. They had awarded her a wild card, but it was a conditional wild card. Every poster, every advertisement had a mental asterisk. Starring Alex Eala, unless she keeps winning in Australia. The early exit removed the asterisk. This is a shock that turns into sure. The moment that final ball was struck by Alicia Parks, the phone lines between Melbourne and Manila likely lit up. The timeline now works perfectly. Rest. She has roughly 5 to 6 days to recover from the physical toll of the 3-set match. Travel. The flight from Melbourne to Manila is about 8 hours. It's a direct corridor. No jet lag issues, as the time zones are very similar. Melbourne is only 3 hours ahead. Acclimatization. She can arrive in Manila, get used to humidity, which is different from the dry heat of Melbourne, and practice on the specific hard courts of Rizal Memorial. So, while we mourn the AO exit, we celebrate the certainty. There is no more, maybe. There is no more, let's wait and see. Alex Eala is locked in. 3 at the Philippine Open. Why this is historic. We need to spend some time talking about the tournament itself, because the context of where she is playing is just as important as the fact that she is playing. This is the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open. For those who might not know the hierarchy of tennis, let me explain. For decades, the Philippines has hosted ITF events, smaller tournaments, usually $15,000 or $25,000 prize money, where up-and-coming players grind for points. We have hosted the SEA Games, but we have never hosted a WTA-level tournament. The WTA 125 is the bridge to the big leagues. It is the equivalent of the Challenger Tour in men's tennis, but with higher prestige. The ranking points are significant. The prize money is substantial. The players coming here are not just juniors. They are top 100 professionals, Grand Slam veterans, and rising stars. Hosting this event at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center is symbolic. This is the hallowed ground of Philippine sports. It's where legends were made. And now, it is being refurbished and prepped for the highest level of women's tennis the country has ever seen. The wild card factor Alex Eala is entering as a main draw wild card. Now, normally, a player of her ranking top 50 wouldn't need a wild card for a 125 event. She would be the top seed by direct entry. However, because entry deadlines close weeks in advance, and her schedule was uncertain due to the Australian Open, the wild card was a safety net. It ensures her spot in the bracket regardless of when she committed. Being the hometown hero at a WTA event brings a different kind of pressure. In Melbourne, the crowd was 80% Filipino, but it was still foreign soil. In Manila, it will be 100% Filipino. It will be loud. It will be chaotic. It will be pure love. This is her opportunity to showcase her growth to the people who have supported her since she was a junior. Many Filipino fans have only seen her play on YouTube or on live streams or via news clips. They have never seen the speed of her backhand in real life. They have never heard the sound the ball makes off her racket. This is their chance. For Analyzing the impact on her 2026 season. Why is playing the Philippine Open smart for her career? One might argue, shouldn't she rest? Shouldn't she go back to the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain and train? No. Here is why this is the perfect strategic move. Points accumulation. After a first-round exit at a Grand Slam, which offers 10 points, she needs to defend her ranking. The WTA 125 level offers substantial points to the winner, usually 160 points. Winning this tournament, or even making the final, would solidify her top 50 status and potentially push her toward the top 40. Confidence rebuilding. Losing to Alicia Parks, especially after winning the first set 6-0, can damage a player's psyche. It creates doubt. Can I close out matches? Am I fit enough? The best cure for that doubt is matches. Not practice, matches. Coming to Manila, where she will likely be the heavy favorite in most matchups, allows her to get back into the winning column. She can feed off the crowd's energy to rebuild her match toughness. The home court advantage. In tennis, we often talk about the French Open specialist or the grass court specialist. But there is also the home court advantage. Look at what the American players do at the U.S. Open. Look at the Aussies in Melbourne. Alexandra Eala needs to turn Manila into her fortress. By playing this inaugural event, she sets a precedent. This is my house. You come to Manila, you have to go through me. 5. The bigger picture. Alexandra Eala as a cultural icon. We must take a moment to step away from the forehands and backhands and look at the cultural weight of this news. The title says Shock the Philippines. And in a way, she has continuously shocked us. She shocked us when she won the U.S. Open Juniors. She shocked us when she won the SEA Games Gold. She shocked us when she cracked the top 100 and then the top 50. But this move, coming home play immediately after a Grand Slam heartbreak, shows a maturity beyond her 20 years. It shows that she understands her role. She is not just an athlete. She is an ambassador. The good news is not just for her. It is for the young girl in Cebu picking up a racket for the first time. It is for the ball kids at Rizal Memorial who will get to be on the same court as a Grand Slam player. It is for the future of Philippine tennis. If this tournament succeeds, and with Eala playing, it is guaranteed to be a blockbuster. It opens the door for more events. Maybe a WTA 250 in 2027? Maybe a major Asian swing stop? Alexandra Eala is the catalyst. Her exit AO was the spark, and her entry into the Philippine Open is the fire. 6. What to expect, the tournament preview. So, what can we expect when she steps onto the court in Manila? Based on her form in Australia, despite the loss, her level is high. That 6-0 set against Parks proved she has a peak level to destroy top 100 players. Her challenge will be consistency. The courts at Rizal Memorial are outdoor hard courts, likely medium slow, due to the humidity. This suits Alex perfectly. She likes to have a split second to set up her lefty forehand. She likes to grind opponents down. The humidity will make the balls heavy, which negates the big hitters and favors the tacticians. She will likely face a mix of veteran journeymen and hungry young players. But make no mistake, everyone in that draw wants to beat the home favorite. The target on her back will be massive, but if she can channel that pressure, if she can use a football crowd to her advantage rather than letting it overwhelm her, she is the overwhelming favorite to lift the trophy. Imagine the scene. Alexandra Eala lifting her first WTA 125 trophy on home soil, surrounded by thousands of Filipinos. That is a potential ending to this script, and it is a much better ending than a second-round loss in Melbourne. To wrap up this deep dive, let's look at the situation with clear eyes. We started this broadcast with a headline about an exit, a loss in Australia. It's easy to feel down about that. It's easy to look at the exit L and think, what if? What if she held serve in the second set? What if she closed it out? But in life and in sports, one door rarely closes without another swinging wide open. The Australian Open exit was the price we paid for the Philippine Open dream. And quite frankly, it's a price worth paying. We are witnessing the prime years of Alexandra Eala. We are watching her evolve from a junior champion into a bona fide WTA Tour professional. The road is rocky. There will be first-round losses. There will be heartbreaks. but there will also be glorious homecomings. The good news is undeniable. The sure to play confirmation is the green light the organizers needed, the fans needed, and perhaps even Alex needed. She needs to feel the love of her country up close, not just through Instagram comments or a TV screen. She needs to hear the roar of Manila. So, here's the bottom line. If you are in Manila or anywhere near Rizal Memorial Tennis Center starting January 26th, you have a duty. You have a duty to show up, to fill those stands, to make that stadium shake. Alex Eala is coming home to play for you. The least we can do is be there for her. This is a rare moment in sports history where a loss translates directly into a win for the fans. The Australian Open will continue without her, but the Philippine Open has just gained its biggest star. Alex Eala shocked the Philippines with her rise. Now, she is ready to thrill the Philippines with her presence. The Australian Open chapter is done. The Manila chapter begins now. Thank you for joining us on this extensive deep dive. We will be covering every match, every point, and every moment of Alex Eala's historic homecoming. Don't go anywhere. The best is yet to come.